As a child, I was an adventurous kid. I went into an abandoned bunker in the hills behind the neighborhood and found an old cigarette pack, and while wandering around unfamiliar alleys, I was stabbed in the leg by a pile of discarded metal, and I was sick for several days. I was at an age where I didn't know what the things I saw while walking around meant, but anyway, I went into every suspicious place in the neighborhood at least once. Except for just one place. It was a cement wall at the foot of the hill behind. The wall rose much higher than the height of an adult, and barbed wire was wrapped around it. "Do not cross this wall" was written on the wall in crude red letters, and a gray-green iron door was firmly locked. Even when I asked adults what they were doing, they didn't tell me. I couldn't contain my curiosity, so I devised a plan to break into it. The cement wall was too high for me to climb over, but there was only one place worth trying. From the entrance of the hiking trail on the back mountain, go through the bushes toward the stone pillar that says Development Restricted Area, and there is a part of the cement wall that is in contact with the hillside. It was at least as high as I could climb. There were a lot of people walking around during the day, so I had to try it at least after the sun went down. As a child, I was so excited about making plans for adventure that I didn't even consider my fears. It was early winter, so the days were short, and it was the day my parents came home late. I started the operation. Standing at the entrance of the trail, I checked to see if anyone was around, and when I saw that no one was there, I quickly went into the bush. The branches of the bush swept all over my face. The stone pillar on which the development restriction area was written was broken into two pieces. It was as if the head had been separated from the body. I climbed on the remains of a stone pillar and snooped over the cement wall. The surroundings were messy with garbage piles, and I saw something red and blue and colorful objects over there. I made up my mind and crossed the wall. Fortunately, the barbed wire was sparse, so there were no major problems getting in. The floor was deeper than I thought, so I felt like I hurt my ankle a little. In front of my eyes was full of trash. Broken pieces of glass, broken jars, wooden items of unknown shape, red rusted iron. It seemed that no one had been around for a long time. The bleak air unique to places where there were no traces of people had settled. I got a little scared then. However, I couldn't give up the adventure here. I had to check the colorful objects I saw earlier. Something like an abandoned shack was blocking my way, and I managed to get out along the narrow passage next to it. There was an ominous shrine there. Mannequins without limbs, decapitated dolls, wigs with long hair, and grotesque wooden statues painted in red and blue were scattered here and there, with one intact doll standing in the center. Several melted candles were knocked over nearby. What the hell is this place doing? Then I got scared and ran screaming. I ran to the gray-green iron door that was firmly locked and knocked on the door. The door was firmly locked and I struggled to escape. I can't remember what happened next. I think I was hurt jumping over a wall, and I remember going to the emergency room with my parents. After that day, my adventurous spirit disappeared. I studied normally, went to an ordinary university, and ended up working for an ordinary company. After becoming an office worker and becoming interested in real estate, I came to know the identity of the place. The landowner, who was dissatisfied with the designation of the development restricted area, that is, the green belt, displayed the hideous objects as a kind of protest. Afterwards, how well it was resolved, the cement wall disappeared and a public gym was created in its place. In this way, after time has passed, the mysteries of childhood are no big deal. At a meal out with my family, I brought up a story about cement walls to my parents. It was a story that I brought out to the extent of light memories of my immature days, but my parents' expressions were dark. Then they carefully told the story of that time. It was a different story from what I remember. They say I was missing at the time. The police found me lying inside a cement wall after 48 hours of searching. I was in a coma for several days, and even after I barely woke up, it was a little strange. It is said that I seemed to be a completely different person than before. There was a reason my parents had such thoughts. It is said that it was not just a dump, but a shrine for necromancy. It is a place where a mysterious shaman has been holding the ground for a long time, but did not know why it became a neglected ruin. It's necromancy. Does that mean that another soul entered my body? Could it be that the current me is something different from the childhood me? Is that why my adventurous spirit has completely disappeared? I couldn't figure it out. There's no way to prove that the childhood me and now me are the same person. I don't know if there is even a cement wall with "Do not cross this wall" written on it, but there was just a public gym with lights on. The light was so bright that even the darkness of the mountain behind it was shabby,